Hello everyone, welcome back to this series of videos about Orlando Furioso. Today we're gonna read together Canto number 21, the 21st Canto, and I have some very tragic news for me, most of all, not for you. But I had a water damage with my Italian edition, and it's now almost falling apart, unfortunately, as you can probably see. But it's still readable, so I'm gonna soldier on despite this terrible, terrible tragedy. Before commenting on the 21st Canto and highlighting, let's say, the main passages here of the plot, I wanted to make a comment, a general comment, about the dedication that Ludovico Ariosto made to Ippolito d'Este. The entire Orlando Furioso, an immense work, an immense epic poem, is dedicated, as we know, to Ippolito d'Este, who was Ariosto's boss, if we want to say that. And since 1516, this dedication has always been printed in the first page of the Orlando Furioso. Now, he was so grateful, and so, in fact, everybody knew that Ippolito d'Este was not a very nice man. He was the opposite of a nice man. In fact, we know that the comment that Ippolito d'Este, the feedback that he gave to Ariosto when he had a chance to read the Orlando Furioso was the following: "Ma dove ha pescato tante corbellerie?" Which means, in English, where did you fish so many stupid things? Where did you go and fish so many stupid things? That's not a very nice or very grateful way to respond to such a nice dedication. To me, this also says how small a man Ippolito d'Este was, because to not recognize the beauty of Orlando Furioso is really, there must be something lacking in the humanity of a person to not recognize it. And it also speaks of the greatness or smallness of some particular powerful man in history. Some powerful men, like for example Alexander the Great or many Roman emperors, they were educated at 360 degrees and they knew how to appreciate the liberal arts. But many other powerful men, I would say probably especially in the modern era, but all throughout history, did not care, could not care, because they were just practical, thinking about whatever was useful. Which reminds me, I don't want to do a rant here, but reminds me of what's happening today in our schools, in our universities, especially in the United States, with the elimination, the gradual elimination of liberal arts subjects and topics and classes. Liberal arts, fine arts, in favor of STEM. Why? Only because STEM classes are more useful if you want to find a job, if you want to make money. So absolutely, let's remember that STEM classes by themselves, even though useful, don't take our society, don't take our humanity anywhere. We need to have a direction. We need to remember and know why we're doing what we're doing. Otherwise, it's the end of our Western civilization. Canto 21. Canto 21 is all about loyalty. In fact, it starts with an introduction about loyalty, and we find the word loyalty in different versions in Italian, repeated in different stanzas many times. In fact, in particular, in stanza 30, 32, 44, 56, many stanzas. In fact, the very first quatrain talks about loyalty in a meaning that is a little bit broader than simply loyalty. It could be meant also as faith, loyalty and faith. And it goes like this: "Né fu né in torto, crederò che stringa, soma così, né così legno chiodo, come la fe, c'una bella alma cinga, del suo tenace indissolubil nodo." The indissolubility of loyalty. This canto is also the canto of the terrible old lady Gabrina. She is really the villain of this Canto 21. Terrible, one of the worst ladies of this poem. There are many beautiful, valorous, courageous, good women in Orlando Furioso, but Gabrina, she is really one of the worst. In fact, the canto opens with Zerbino, the knight, who is forced by his promise to bring Gabrina with himself. He doesn't know much about her, but he has promised to just do whatever she likes and bring her around wherever he's going. At this point, they encounter another knight called Hermonides of Holland. The two knights fight, and Zerbino wins. He unseats him. Something that maybe is a little bit funny, thinking about Canto 21, is that the majority of the story that we hear in Canto 21 comes as told by Hermonides while he is laying on the ground in a dying situation because he's been unseated by Zerbino, and so he is wounded. And he's just speaking as if they were almost his last words, but his tale is pretty long for somebody who is in that condition. So Hermonides tells the tale of his brother. His brother is called Philander, and he is a very good man, because we soon learn that Philander has been resisting all the advances of Gabrina. She keeps insisting, but he's always resisting her advances. At a certain point, as a revenge almost, she falsely accuses Philander, and her husband, Argeo, decides to lock Philander away, to imprison Philander in a jail cell. Despite everything, the terrible Gabrina keeps trying to seduce Philander, even if he's resisting. And here we have one of my favorite stanzas of the entire canto, which is stanza number 32, where Filandro is responding to Gabrina the following. No, no, disse Filandro, aver mai spene che non sia come suol mia vera fede, se ben contra ogni debito mi avviene, ch'io ne riporti sì dura mercede. E di me creda il mondo men che bene, basta che innanti a quel che tutto vede means the one who sees everything, which is God. So there is a Christian light that enlightens Filandro. E mi può ristorar di grazia eterna, chiara la mia innocenzia si discerna. We can see here how the main topic of this canto, the loyalty and faith, the broader topic of faith, is represented in many different articulations on many different levels. So Gabrina keeps trying to seduce him. At this point, she plots something that is extremely evil and contrived, whereby her husband, Argeo, has left for a period of time. And he has a feud with a neighbor, let's say, with a neighboring knight, who sometimes goes through their castle and annoys people there. Thanks to Gabrina's evil plot and lies, because she keeps lying, Philander ends up killing Argeo, taking him for an enemy, for somebody else. And finally, at that point, Gabrina has what she's always wanted. So she forces herself on him, and he's basically in her power from that moment. As a reader, you really feel bad for poor Philander when you're reading this canto. Really feel bad. And not only that, later on, she also tries to poison him. She seeks to poison Philander. And everything comes out in the open, everything is revealed. However, poor Philander dies. And this is the reason why this knight, who's been met by Zerbino, his name is Hermonides, hates so much Gabrina. He really wants to kill her. He hates her with all his heart. So we could say that despite the usual tone, the usual quick and light-hearted tone, this is a little bit of a dark canto, because a lot of unfair, deeply unjust things happen to Philandro in particular, and at the same time, it really reads almost like a Machiavelli story, a Machiavelli theater piece, like a Mandragola is one that I'm thinking of. Very convoluted plots and plans to trick each other, to lie to each other, so with a very bad, evil villain. And this is what we have for today. This was Canto 21. We're inching nearer and nearer to... It's kind of funny how much we've read of Orlando Furioso so far, and we haven't gotten yet to the point when literally Orlando becomes Furioso. This is gonna happen soon, and so I look forward to finishing this first of 2 volumes of the Orlando Furioso and continuing the reading with you, if you're still, I hope, enjoying the poem. Thank you for watching. Bye.